In this video, I'm going to be documenting my first year on Etsy, showing the results and explaining all the lessons I learned. Walk through the progression of when I started in January of 2025 until now, January of 2026. I'll show my orders over the months, and at the end, I'll show my revenue. This is not going to be a tutorial. It's not going to be to brag or flex. The money I made isn't anything special. The lessons I learned this year were very beneficial, and I plan to keep building on what I've learned in 2026, and hopefully I'll do a video at the end then to document my second year on Etsy. I started Etsy in January of 2025 when I was at home after a semester of school and I was just scrolling on Instagram. I kept seeing everyone post, "Hey, like start an Etsy store, start an Etsy store. You can sell digital art on Etsy." I was flooded with all different types of side hustles. I didn't know what really to choose. I started trying to build some candle holders and I tried to build like custom flowers. Then I've opened up four different Etsy shops, but the one I've stuck to is the one that I'm going to be showing and explaining. What I've learned is just start. You're going to mess up, but the best way to learn is through the failure. You're going to get real feedback. You're going to see what actually works, talking to customers and seeing what gets purchased. So in the first month, January, mostly I was just researching other shops and deciding what I wanted to actually make my shop my brand. So eventually I decided on digital products. I sell digital art. I don't really want to get into the specifics to keep my shop secrecy so nobody copies what exactly I'm selling because I've worked this past year quite hard to get it to the point it's at right now. The biggest thing I learned was results do not come immediately. A lot of the time it's you'll think, oh, the effort you put in here will directly pay off. With Etsy, it's a delayed reaction. So listings usually take between 2 to 4 months to mature. So to see if a listing's a winner, you might not know until a few months down the line. So it's important to be patient. And then when those results do come, analyze them and double down on what is working. A few mistakes I made along the way were putting out products that I would enjoy. Putting out products I enjoyed, I only had one sale out of 30 different listings. That was a sign to me that it wasn't in demand. So I've learned to look up what is selling, what is in demand. If there are competitors in the space, it's because there is demand. You might think that, oh, nobody else is selling this, so I'm going to sell this, but it's kind of backwards. When there is competition, it is a good sign. You don't want too much competition, but you want enough competition to validate the product and to show that it is worth your time to publish. Quickly, I'm just going to show you the reviews over the months, and then I'll explain a bit more about it. On the left here, we have January of 2025. I had my first order. I was lucky I got my first order within 30 days of opening my shop. I wouldn't say this is to be expected. It was very rewarding and it motivated me to keep going. But if you haven't seen that first order, just keep working. It will come. February, 7 orders, then 39 in March, 32 April, 64 May, 73 in June. In July, it was 96. August, I broke 100 orders for the first time with 101, and then it continued like that the rest of the year. So you saw there that my orders, they did increase, and then towards the end of November and December, you saw a slight dip, but my revenue actually increased as I started to sell higher ticket products. Since I sell digital downloads, the average order value is around $4 to $5, occasionally all the way up to 7, but that takes a lot to add up to 1,000 a month. In October, I added physical products, and those were around $35 in revenue, and that's when things really started to pick up. The few mistakes I made were trying to chase trends too late. It's good to have a bit of evergreen and seasonal products. So evergreen, that just means year round. They will sell year round. So an example would be teacher's mug, a newborn baby blanket. People are having kids all year round. Something that would be seasonal would be like a Valentine's Day card. So you want a mix of these two. Like I said before, you don't want to be listing a Valentine's Day card the first week of February because you only have 2 weeks then for it to mature. The Etsy algorithm doesn't work this way. It takes a few months for Etsy to understand what buyers to put this product in front of and actually get views and sales. So if you're going to plan out your year and catch these seasonal trends, shift everything back. You want to be listing 2 to 3 months in advance so that they have time to mature for the seasonal spike. Now I'm going to show you my revenue over the months. It's nothing crazy, but it's enough to push me to keep going. So in 2025, I sold a total of $4,800 in revenue. Of this, around 65% is profit. So my margins were 65%, anywhere from 55 to 70, depending on the sale that I was running at the time. My highest month in revenue, as you can see, was December. So I passed $1,000 threshold, which I was very, very excited about. I just started selling more expensive things. As you just saw, in December, my revenue for the first time crossed $1,000, which I was very, very excited about. But my margins did drop a bit because I was adding physical products where the average margin on those are between 20 and 30%, conservatively around the 25% profit margin. Whereas the digital products before were around the 65% margin. These margins just go into the fulfillment cost if it is a physical product, plus Etsy does take a percentage and fees and relisting costs. I'm going to be documenting everything I learn, everything I do on Etsy moving forward. And hopefully, I'm going to look back on this video and be very, very proud of myself. Increase these numbers, hopefully, get to the $3,000 or $4,000 in revenue a month. I would love to hit 1,000 to 2,000 profit. That'd be great. Cover rent. If you would like to follow along this journey, just subscribe and I will be documenting every step of the way. Moving into 2026, my goals are to add more physical products. I want to increase my average order value, thus increasing my profits. The reason I decided to add physical products is, as you saw in December, there was proof there that I can increase my revenue. And that was only with one specific physical product. So I'm going to do my research. I'm going to see what is selling, what I want to sell. If the demand is there, I'm going to list these and hopefully I can increase my revenue to $1,000 a month most months. And hopefully by December, I can have that at $2,000 or $3,000. I'm excited for my second year on Etsy. Feel free to follow along, subscribe if you want to join the journey. Thank you guys.